All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Live from Rock Hill, South Carolina. I've got my good buddy Jeff Upshaw on here. And Jeff and I, we've been talking for about a year and a half, sharing information back and forth. Jeff, man, just such a wealth of knowledge and experience and great demeanor, man. Just so good with the kids. And then there's me. I'm a father of Tyler and obviously an exercise science dork working on my master's degree. Should have that finished by the end of the summer in kinesiology. So Jeff and I have just had great dialogue over the last year or two, sharing information and trying to find those educational gaps in the sport and put our heads together to see what we can do to make this a healthier process for you guys. Jeff, what do you think,
Well,
buddy? What should we talk about? How should we help these guys out?
I'll just have to add to that, Mike. I think this is exactly what we're looking to do is hit on some of those pieces that are missing. That leads us right into our topics for today. Some of the things, the biggest questions I think that are asked, especially for an event like this, which is untraditional than a normal national USA BMX event, is nutrition. So, I think that's some of the questions that I'll leave up for you to answer, Mike. Like, what does it look like to have a nutrition plan for this event?
Yeah.
Before, during, and after. What's that look like?
Yeah, so the race format's significantly different, right? As far as you're potentially going to be doing more laps in a given day than you might do in a USA BMX event, and they're going to be closer together. So your time to refuel in between races needs to be strategically different. And maybe even your strategy going into this event, because there are more nerves involved potentially, might need to be adjusted as well. So when we look at this, like the approach that I take with us is we have our nutrition program days out, and then as we get closer to the event, we kind of shift it. So maybe we could talk about like what we're going to do the day before, the night before, the morning of, during the race day, and after he's completed his last lap for the day, as far as kind of getting that refueling and repairing process initiated so you can bounce back and get back to training. Jeff, would you mind
100%.
kind of just talking us through like how that race day looks as far as maybe how close together those margins could be in our races? And then also if there is inclement weather and they do create some sort of a delay, how that could look. And then I'll talk about the specifics of nutrition and electrolytes and that stuff if you want, or we could just kind of, ping pong ball this back and forth. You have a lot of great knowledge too, so I don't want to step on any of that.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, when it comes down to the race event, we start our day off with like a 20-minute warm up for those riders that are racing on the day. So, realistically, you're probably going to get one rolling gate, one rolling start, and one gate start that you're going to be able to apply before you actually get to the race day on hand. So, the time in between events is roughly like 25. It depends on where you kind of start at. If you're in the beginning of the rounds your motos kind of shift towards the end of the rounds, you have anywhere from like 25 to like 45 minutes at max, right, in between your lap times. So it's very short. We're used to on a traditional race maybe having two bikes that were racing back to back within an hour's time. But this is going to be our schedule throughout the day. We're going to race all three of our qualifying rounds with about that much break in between. We're going to have 16ths and eights, which is kind of new. You don't see that stuff on the normal circuit much at all, other than at the Grand. So there will be a small break in between rounds when it comes to getting into the eights and 16ths and stuff of that nature. But we're still going to be working on that same time frame, 25 to 40 minutes in between laps when we look at that. So if you don't have those eights and 16ths, so you will have a little bit bigger time frame. I'll give us masters as an example. We'll probably have an hour and a half between our rounds because most likely we'll just be wrapping up with semis here. So theoretically, we have about we'll say on average a 35-minute window throughout our laps today on the day. What's that look like, Mike? I mean, as far as nutrition goes, like I would probably say for myself, thinking about this, like there's no way we're cramming in a full meal. We're not cramming in a full meal between these rounds.
You could. It's going to compromise your performance in a negative way. Yeah. So I love the interlude here. We only have about 30 minutes, right? And you're going to be racing multiple laps throughout the day, and this could be drawn out over hours. And most of these athletes, I would anticipate, are going to wake up in the morning with some kind of degree of pre-competition anxiety. What does that do? Well, constriction of the stomach, lack of or less blood supply to the digestive system. So we really can't stomach and digest a big meal on the race day, right? I believe Connor Fields won the Olympics on not much more than a Pop Tart, just because of race day nerves in a big competition like that. So really, the best way to set yourself up for race day nutrition is to pre-fuel a couple days out. So with Tyler, he's basically he's got open range to eat as much as he wants, as long as it's reasonably healthy. Like, I'm not going to go buy him bags of Doritos and junk like that, but the kid can have a whole bunch of other stuff that I wouldn't normally give him, to just try to, like, I want to saturate his glycogen stores, but I also want to keep him, somewhat light feeling. So we're just cramming as many long chain carbohydrates, proteins, fats, all that stuff that I can get in him leading into the race. The night before the race, the day before, I'll be having him pound as much fluids and electrolytes as I can get him to tolerate. But probably a few hours before we go to bed, I'm going to cut him off the fluids and just have him sipping, because I don't want to interrupt his night of sleep because he has to get up and go pee multiple times throughout the night. I want him to get the best night of sleep he can. And really, the most important night of sleep would be 2 nights out, not the night before. There's going to be nerves the night before. So there's going to be some sort of anxiety, restlessness involved. So anything I can do to enhance the quality of that night's sleep, we're going to do. The morning of that race, buddy, I just want calories in him. I don't really care so much about the source of him. I need calories that are delivered into his bloodstream and available. So I don't want to get him up too early to give him that big meal, right? So our breakfast will probably be simple carbohydrates, maybe some bread, some jelly. If I can get some chocolate milk in them for a breakfast, some stuff like that, I'm good with it. If it's a bowl of high glycemic index cereal and milk, I'm okay with that. We're not going to have an argument or a wrestling match over nutrition, because we set this up days in advance, right? And then he's going to have that practice session, which is going to be lower intensity. And then from there going forward, he's only going to have maybe 30 minutes in between laps. And I need his best laps to be the ones latest in the day, right? Tyler's a pretty lean, wiry kid. He's naturally calorie deficient on a race day. And we don't have those big gaps. So I'll show you guys like exactly some of the stuff I have for Tyler snack bag for race day. Liquid nutrition will kind of be the big go-to for in between rounds. So water, man, we got to keep these kids hydrated. They need to be chugging water all day. We want them peeing clear. We want them peeing often. If we got these kids peeing, once every hour, once every 2 hours, that's great. But we want the urine to be clear. Some sort of an electrolyte. Like, this one isn't my favorite, but it's Tyler's favorite. So we're not going to have a wrestling match this day. It's got electrolytes. It has some other things I don't like. It's not as clean or pure as I would like, but I know he will drink this, and he will drink lots of it, and he will stay hydrated.
Without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very valuable point too, Mike, is, like we talk around nutrition quite a bit, and I think it's new to most people, but at the end of the day, on the weekend, we have to be able to get things for the kids to enjoy and do kind of without a fight about it, right? The goal mentally is a lot bigger. So spending energy on trying to fight about food is it's going to add anxiety, right? We want to kind of let that kind of just naturally build into where we're headed.
Let it flow. So for me, you know how hard I can geek out on this stuff and how like specific or structured we can be. But the truth is, On this day, I want calories that are going to be in his bloodstream. I want all that food broken down into his bloodstream, available as glucose. I don't want it stuck in his stomach. I want the stuff to just get delivered right into the bloodstream. So that's kind of the strategy there. So it needs to be more on the simple carbohydrates. So some other simple carbohydrates, I got little applesauce cups that will digest really quickly and break down. Little fruit cups. I prefer like mandarin oranges or bananas or stuff like that. I could pack Tyler a bag full of that stuff, and he's probably not going to get it down on a big day like this. These things he'll take. If we get some bigger breaks, well, then I might give him something like this. If we've got like an hour, I'd let him nibble on something like that. If we get a weather delay, this is what he's got to really like lay down some good nutrition with this complex carbohydrate. I've got this squeezable jelly, cleanest one I could find that he could squeeze and make himself, and make sandwiches for a couple of his buddies there if they want it. Some peanut butter. So like I said, these aren't my favorite foods, but these are foods that will work on race day. They'll deliver quickly into his bloodstream. They'll provide him good quality energy and help him stay strong throughout that day. So his best laps are sharper than everybody else's, hopefully. We will let the competition not capitalize on this information. We'll let them wear down race by race, and we'll just look to maintain or get stronger.
Yeah, and that's it, right? Just being able to lean into your fullest potential, and nutrition plays a huge role in that.
Yeah, cool. So I think we hit on a lot of things. The one thing we haven't really hit on so much would be after the race. And you and I have talked about this and the importance of, man, as soon as you're done with that last lap and your nerves have settled a little bit to where you can stomach something, you got to start the refueling process right away.
Yes.
And how picky do we need to be about that refueling process?
I've come to find out that we don't need to be too picky. I mean, we're looking to get calories back in the body to help supplement recovery, right? So,
Yeah.
getting some enjoyable food in front of you is going to be the time to do it.
Most likely going to go down if it's enjoyable, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we want to replenish all the carbohydrates and get those glucose stores back up, glycogen stores back up. We need some protein so that we can start rebuilding the muscle. And then like I'll be honest, whatever Tyler wants after race day, I'm good with it. Like, you want ice cream? Have 3 of them. Have 3 of them. You are going to eat some protein at some point throughout this. Ice cream has a little bit of protein in it. You are going to have some things that are recovery oriented, but I'm just going to try to gently weave those in with all the rest of the stuff that he asked for, and then we'll get back on a more structured nutrition plan after the fact, after his body's rebounded from this.
100%. And I think too, Mike, like this is also a good place to get a little bit more buy-in from your athlete on kind of being a little more strict on food choices throughout race day, right? Because they can kind of look forward to the moment after races being done to enjoy, something that they may enjoy a little bit more, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, and the way I usually navigate this with Tyler is when we go to an out of town race, we get checked and we get stood in, and we'll either go to like I Love Sprouts or Trader Joe's, something like that. Tyler doesn't. What do you think we're going? We're going to either Target, Walmart, or a grocery store, and we're going through there. And he has pretty good idea already because we've done this on what I'll tolerate and what I won't. Sometimes he still tries to see how far he can push some things there. But it's a dance, right? It's a dance. It's not a boxing match. We're going to kind of pivot and gracefully go with each other and move it along. So I guess if we're to sum this all up for a nutrition plan, I'd say grab your kid, find a grocery store, a Target, a Walmart, and go through those aisles with them. They need quite a few bottles of water. They need some sort of an electrolyte mix or beverage that's pre-mixed that they will consume willingly. I would even suggest maybe diluting it to a half and half blend between water and a commercial electrolyte product. So that way it delivers into the body, doesn't upset the stomach. We talked about those snack items that you can bring in. You just want to make sure they're quick, easy to digest, and there's something that your kid, whatever age they are, it's age appropriate that they can manage on their own, and that they just understand, like, okay, you race a lap, you nibble, you drink. You race a lap, you nibble, you drink. And it needs to be that, just nibbling, drinking, nibbling, drinking. You eat too much, you drink too much. How's that feel when you line up under the big pressure of a gate, Jeff?
Man, it's you're thinking about your stomach, right? That ooh-wee feeling. Not
Yeah,
focused
yeah.
on the task. So yeah, keep it simple.
And that leads me into one other magic piece of ingredient that Tyler will have with him. Tyler will have a pack of baby wipes with him, just in case the nerves get to him, stomach gets upset. He's gonna have some baby wipes and no monkey butt on race day, buddy. We want to keep all those things out of his mind that we can, so he can focus on what he's here to do.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Jeff, I want to keep the time short for these guys, but it was a blast to do this with you. I appreciate the friendship we've built over the last couple of years, and to see where this goes, and to just see how we can take your experience, your enthusiasm, my experience as a dad and as an athlete, but also the education, just keep putting this together to make the sport better for everybody who's participating, man.
Yeah, man. Thankful to be on the call with you, Mike. And like I said before, I think this is going to be a great value for everybody that tunes in to watch this. Feel free to hit us up and ask any personal questions if you have them. We're more than happy to help as much as we can. We want everybody to have a great experience here at the 2024 World Championship and beyond. So tap in with us if you feel the need.
Yeah, and I'll be walking around on race day on the parent side of things. If you see me, hit me up. Love to chat. Give you guys some free stickers or whatever. So Jeff, Driven Cycling Academy, and Mike Wagner, One Life Health and Fitness. Live it well,
Yes,
guys.
sir. All right. See you guys later.
Sweet. I'll hit